It was a warm summer day. Oprah Winfrey was driving through one of Chicago's neighborhoods after a long day of filming. The streets were as bustling as ever, with people rushing about their lives. As Oprah glanced out the window, her eyes fell upon a small boy sitting alone in a corner. His clothes were tattered and worn, and in his lap he held a piece of cardboard that read, "I have no family. Please help." The look of despair in his eyes struck Oprah deeply. She immediately instructed her driver to pull over and turn to her bodyguard. "I need to know who that boy is," she said. As Oprah approached the boy, he shrank back slightly, visibly unsure. With a gentle voice, she said, "Hello, sweetheart. What's your name?" The boy hesitated, then shyly replied, "My name is Jake, just Jake." Oprah knelt down beside little Jake, her voice calm and soothing as she asked, "Can you tell me a little about yourself, sweetheart?" Jake paused for a moment, his small hands clutching the edges of his sign, before lowering his gaze to the ground. "My name is Jake," he whispered, his voice barely audible. Oprah gave him a warm smile. "Jake, that's a beautiful name. How old are you, sweetheart?" she asked. Jake looked up hesitantly and mumbled, "9. But no one remembered my birthday this year. I didn't have anyone to celebrate with." Those words tugged at Oprah's heart, but she allowed Jake to continue at his own pace. Encouragingly, she said, "Don't leave me wondering, Jake. I'd love to hear your story." Jake took a deep, shaky breath, his voice trembling as he began. "My mum and dad, they died in a car accident. The police found me, but they wouldn't even let me see them. There was so much blood, and they weren't breathing anymore." Oprah noticed the tears welling up in Jake's eyes and felt her own emotions beginning to surface. "Sweetheart, I'm so sorry. You've been so strong to make it this far. I'm proud of you," she said softly. Jake sat in silence for a moment, then lowered his head again. "After that, they sent me to live with my uncle, but he didn't want me there. He was always yelling at me, telling me I was a burden. He'd say, 'I don't have time to deal with you.' One day, he packed my bag and told me to leave. He said, 'Go figure it out on your own.'" At that moment, Jake broke down, tears streaming down his face. Oprah, unable to hold back her own emotions, placed her hand gently on his small shoulder. "What he did to you was so wrong, Jake. But you're here now, and I'm here with you," she said firmly. Jake wiped his eyes and muttered, "I don't belong anywhere. Nobody wants me. Everyone treats me like I'm just a problem." Those words hit Oprah like a heavy weight. She reached out, taking Jake's tiny hands in hers, and looked him straight in the eye. "Jake, sweetheart, that's not true. You are not a problem. You are so special, and I promise you'll find the love and care you deserve. I believe in you," she said. For the first time, a glimmer of hope lit up Jake's tear-streaked face, though uncertainty lingered. "But what if I'm alone again?" he asked hesitantly. Oprah took a deep breath and said with determination, "No, Jake, you're not alone anymore. I won't leave you. I promise you that." For the first time, Jake felt the unwavering support of someone who truly cared. "Really?" he asked softly. Oprah squeezed his hands gently but firmly. "Yes, sweetheart. From now on, there will be people who care about you and love you. We're going to figure this out together." At that moment, Jake let go of all the fear and pain he had been holding inside and threw his arms around Oprah. She held him close, whispering, "It's going to be okay, Jake. I promise." Jake continued to cry quietly as Oprah gently patted his back, offering a sense of security he hadn't felt in a long time. For Oprah, this was more than an act of kindness. It was a decision to transform a life. For Jake, it was the first time he truly believed someone would stay by his side. Oprah immediately turned to her bodyguard and said, "Get something for Jake to eat." She pointed to a nearby restaurant, and within minutes, a warm bowl of soup and a sandwich were brought over. Oprah handed the food to Jake with a kind smile. "Here, sweetheart, eat up," she said. Jake hesitated for a moment, then started eating slowly, his nervousness easing with each bite. As he ate, Oprah took out her phone and called her assistant. "I need help for a child," she said. "Please arrange a safe place for him tonight." Not long after, Oprah took Jake to a nearby hotel There, Jake had a warm shower and changed into clean clothes that had been prepared for him. His tense expression softened, and the fear in his eyes began to fade. Sitting on the edge of the bed, Jake turned to Oprah and asked, "Why are you helping me?" Oprah looked him in the eye and said, "Because someone should have done this for you a long time ago." The next morning, Oprah wasted no time in planning Jake's future. She made arrangements with an organization that provided support for orphan children. The organization offered both a safe living space and access to education. Oprah personally introduced Jake to one of the representatives, a kind woman who knelt down to Jake's level and said, "Jake, there's a very special family waiting for you. They're excited to meet you and can't wait to give you all the love you deserve." Jake's eyes lit up for the first time. A smile, small but genuine, spread across his face. But Oprah didn't stop there. She pledged to cover all of Jake's educational expenses through her personal foundation. She also arranged for him to attend a summer camp where he could explore his interests and talents. "This is just the beginning, Jake. There's so much more waiting for you," Oprah said, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. Jake turned to her, his small frame trembling with emotion as he threw his arms around her. "I never thought I'd meet someone like you. Thank you," he whispered. Jake's life had changed in an instant, but Oprah knew the story didn't end there. As she prepared to say goodbye, she knelt down and looked him in the eye. "Jake, one day you're going to help someone else, just like I'm helping you now. Because this world becomes a better place when kindness is shared," she said warmly. Tears welled up in Jake's eyes as he nodded firmly. "I promise," he said, his voice steady with newfound determination. Oprah turned to the camera, addressing the audience directly. "There are so many people in this world who need help. A small act of kindness can transform a life completely. Please don't turn away from those in need," she urged. The story ended with joyful images of Jake settling into his new life at the organization. He was seen smiling, playing with other children, and beginning to thrive in ways he never thought possible. The video closed with a call to action for viewers to like, share, and subscribe, ensuring the message of hope and kindness reached as many people as possible.